Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you may be. And to those of you who are joining us later for the recording, whether you're watching it live or listening to it, I want to welcome you to the Temple of Kriya Yoga Sunday noon meditation. My name is Caren Prentice, and I am delighted to be here with you today to share a kind of pivotal teaching that Kriyananda gave that helped to shape the way I went through my relationships and my interactions in the world. And it sounds very simple, right? How to be part of the solution, but actually what sounds simple, let me give you what Kriyananda said. That's kind of the punchline for the whole teaching today. He said, be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Don't contribute to the problem. Be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. And the more I have lived with that and tried to use that as a guiding post, kind of the North Star kind of thing, it's made a huge difference in my life. So I was really looking forward to sharing that with you today. But first, let's take a moment to become present. Phew, and let go of whatever else has been going on so that we can really whew, find a place of openness in our mind and in our heart to absorb this beautiful teaching that that we've been blessed with through Kriyananda. So let's just take a few moments to become aware of what is going on in our bodies right now. So noticing what's the sensation in your chest, in your stomach, perhaps noticing the sensation in your hands. And then noticing the sensation of the breath. The breath is always in the present moment. So we love to use the breath. We love to use the breath to help us stay right here, right now. So wherever the breath is most available to you, perhaps it's the temperature of the breath in your nostrils, perhaps it's the motion of the breath in your belly or your chest. And it doesn't matter if you're driving, walking, sitting, each of us right now can let all of our awareness and attention rest on the gentle movement of the breath in the body with your eyes open, eyes closed. So maybe not all of your awareness if you're driving, just a portion of your awareness. And this is such a fundamental skill that meditators have, the ability at any moment to drop into the flow and the rhythm of the breath right here, right now. And so from there, let's just take a moment to dedicate this time, dedicate these teachings to the benefit of all beings, and to ask all the powers that be, to ask the source of your wisdom, your grace, for assistance in helping us to become part of the solution, helping us to find the discernment and the wisdom to recognize when we are contributing to the problem so that we can step back and make a shift in consciousness that will allow us, wherever we go, whatever we say, to be part of the solution. And so here we are. Here we are. Thank you for that lovely opening meditation. And I do just want to take a moment to thank all of the people at the temple who make this possible. It takes a lot to put these live streams together, all the tech that goes into it. And so thank you, thank you. And so let's get back to our this little mantra we can now start to live with, right? Be part of the solution. Be part of the solution. Be part of the solution. And what's so beautiful about that is it's a simple phrase. And the more you live with it, the more it upends everything you think you know about being part of the solution. So I have a brother who loves to just help. He hears about anything going on with you and he's immediately sending texts, sending, read this article, read this, do this, you know. And his way of being part of the solution is if you say, "Oh, I've got high blood pressure," or something like that, he'll immediately go look up everything there is about high blood pressure and start sending you all these articles. And that's, it's from a good-hearted, caring place. And then there's other kinds of being a solution where you see that somebody is sad or depressed, and we want to say in our head, we go, well, the solution is they need to get out more. They need to get out there and go do something. So we say things like, you need to just get out there and start walking. You need to just put on some music. And we come up with these solutions that we think are going to be part of the solving the problem, right? And we can go along like that for a while in our lives, making suggestions to people because you know how it is, right? I love this truth about life. It's always easier for us, we think, to see what everybody else should be doing to solve the problems in their life, right? Isn't that how it goes? But what's the beauty of this phrase is as we start saying that to ourselves, I want to be part of the solution, we realize that, wait, we do think we know what should other people should do to solve their lives. And we make these suggestions and then they don't do it. They don't do it. And we're like, wait, they're not doing it. And so some of us, maybe not all of you, some of you are maybe a little wiser than I was. We just say it again. We say it again. We say it again. And the person on the other side continues to just do what they were doing. And now this is where discernment, this is an important word for meditators, discernment and wisdom come in. This is where we go, oh, they're not doing it. The way I'm communicating with them isn't working. Oh, and so listen carefully here, right? An old pattern within our culture would be to say it louder, to say it more often, to just keep doing the same thing again and again and again, trying to get somebody to solve the problem. And instead, what we start to realize is maybe I need to change how I'm saying it. Oh, maybe the wisdom is that person isn't going to do that. Oh, they're not going to do that. Okay, so let me tell you, there's a book out there. This is just a great little story about this, and it's actually the one that goes through my head most of the time. Um, there's a book by a woman named Marlo Morgan. It's called Mutant Message from Down Under, and she went on a walkabout with the Aborigines for about 3 months, sometime in the late '80s or early '90s, and she spent literally 3 months just walking around with them, and one night, they were sitting around the fire, and one of the elders asked one of the kids to to move something from one place to another. The kid didn't do it. So the elder once again said, "Would you go ahead and would you move it from there to there?" The kid didn't do it. Well, time passes. The elder says it again. So and so, take that, move it from there to there. Kid didn't do it. At which point, her coming from Western culture is expecting him to get angry, blow up, or something. Instead, he starts laughing. He starts laughing. Oh my gosh, he starts cracking up. And she asked him, "Why are you laughing?" He's like, "Because I finally figured out the kid isn't going to do it. He's not going to do it." Are you with me? I mean, think about that. The wisdom of just recognizing, oh, somebody's not going to do it. So I could contribute to the problem by getting angry and forcing the point for that person to do something, or I can laugh and go, "Oh my god, they're not gonna do it. So if I want it done, I need to find another way to get it done." This may this is one of those teachings that I think is so profoundly simple that we often miss the magnitude of what it's telling us, which is basically don't fight the river. Don't just go flow downstream. It's like ride the horse in the direction it's going. Recognizing the problem is the first step. And if the person isn't going to do it, then let's stop butting our heads against the wall and let's change course and do something else. This is the kind of bits of wisdom that we start to gain when we start to look at the world as show me, show me, show me what's real. Not what's in my head, not what I think it should be, but show me what's really, really life is about. What people are like. And so to go back to my brother gets very frustrated because he's finally realized we never read his articles. We just don't, you know? And that that kind of um, awareness is essential for us to open to without judgment, without hurt, without taking it personally, but to simply just look at the life and go, oh, that's the way people are. They don't want to read all these things. They don't want to know all these things. And so the part of the solution is to simply, ah, that's human nature. That's human nature. So, so um, this is, I hope this is making some sense. What I want to do now is take this one step up, kind of up it just a little bit, and talk about this from the standpoint of when we're in an actual interaction with someone and it is tense, they're upset, they're hurt, angry, afraid, whatever it might be, and something in their responses has triggered us, and we are now hurt, angry, afraid, and you can feel the emotions, the emotionality beginning to escalate. And these are the moments where that phrase, Caren, you need to be part of the solution, are so valuable because it's that reminder that as soon as I am triggered, that's the word we like to use, right? When I have been hooked into my own emotions, my own emotionality, I have lost the ability to be part of the solution. And it becomes just a reaction, 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 and we're just escalating, escalating, escalating. And so, what do we do in those moments, right? When we're in the middle of something with somebody, an interaction, and we know, right? We can see it. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, and we're still so emotional, right? So let me share a few teachings that have helped me to learn how to shift the dynamic in those circumstances. And the first one is we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions. And why is that important? That's important because when we are in a situation like that and we're angry and we're feeling that anger and we have totally I want to say dived into the underground. I don't know if we so much dive into it as it just wells up and it takes over, right? Or we're so consumed with sadness or hurt and it just takes over us. And we believe that we are that anger, that hurt. So what do we say? I am angry. What a statement if you think about it, right? I mean, I am. That's that's what they say God is, right? I am. I am that I am. So for us to say I am angry, I am sad, I am hurt, we are in a sense validating that I am these emotions. But meditators, we know that this is not true. Intellectually, we start knowing it intellectually, and little by little, we come to realize we really are not our emotions. We have emotions, we experience emotions. A friend of mine once sent a Irish saying where you say, anger is upon me, sadness is upon me, which helps to make us aware that we are not it. It is something we are experiencing. And for me, the recognition that I was this reaction I was having wasn't me, meant it was something I could become aware of. And in our training as meditators, one of the things we learn to do is to hold space for sensations, emotions, and be aware of them without becoming them, without dropping into them and thinking of them as our identity. And so this ability to be in a situation with someone and at least even just hold the thought, okay, be part of the solution. Okay, these sensations, these thoughts, these emotions are what are going through me right now. They are not me. And I'll be honest with you, in the very beginning, just holding that awareness while you're experiencing the reactivity is a victory, is a victory. If you can continue, and I encourage you, this is all I did over the years. I just kept, I want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of the solution. That awareness then becomes the ability next to be discerning and say, remember this word discerning, and say, if I open my mouth right now, I'm only going to make things worse. If I open my mouth right now, I'm only going to make things worse. So no matter what, I'm going to just keep my mouth closed. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not going to make it worse. So we go from reactive being part of the problem, right? We're in it, we're engaged, to, okay, I'm aware. I'm aware that I'm having these experiences, and that's about all the energy I have right now is to be aware of it. But that muscle to be aware. So you notice how I put my hand behind my head because it's like something watching the experience, right? First, we've got to get that there. We've got to get the ability to watch it as we're experiencing it. And that's what gives us enough strength and practice to take the next step, which is to discern in the moment what I'm doing that might be contributing and to make a choice to help me stop doing that. So in other words, let's say we're in a tough interaction with someone, the discernment to say, I need to just keep my mouth shut now. Whatever I'm doing is making this worse. I need to just be quiet. I must be quiet. And then that ability gives us the ability to move on to the next step, which is to say, okay, I'm aware. I'm not going to make this worse. I'm going to keep quiet. And you might think the next step is, okay, what can I do to de escalate? Then that's not the next step. The next step is to say, ooh, what's going on inside me right now that's got me all upset? That's got me so hurt. That's got me feeling so um, afraid, what it might be. And the next step is to take care of that first. First, heal that. Pay attention to that. And it's only once we have solved our own problems that we can then show up and de-escalate and be part of the solution for other people in other situations with wisdom. So how to be part of the solution is step 3, right? Step 1 is just be aware. Step 2 is discernment in the moment. Is this making things worse? If so, let me stop what I'm doing. Step 3 is to work with ourselves. And that's what it always comes down to. And it's so hard, isn't it? It's like, really, is it always about me? And we say, yeah, it's always about you. It's always about us. It's always about me. Our emotions, our reactions are about us. It's one of the hardest teachings out there. And um, and yet it's hard, but as we learn to look at why we're angry, why we're hurt, why we're afraid, and then address that. And I mean, each one of those is a full retreat teaching all of its own, right? So for the scope of today's talk, let's just know that for me to become part of the solution in the grand view of the world, I need to heal my anger. I need to heal my shame. I need to heal my fear. I need to heal my hurt, anger, sadness. It's just comes back to us, right? And we're raised in a culture that actually I don't know if this is so true anymore, but it was not a good thing to be selfish. It was, that was a thing. We were always bumping up against this. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be selfish, or this idea of we need to pay more attention to everybody else than to ourselves, and that is valid. That is valid. Other people matter. Except here's the piece we miss is that until we've cleaned up our own side of the street, until we've healed the hurts in our soul, till, as Krinanda says so beautifully, we balance the imbalances in our soul. It's really hard to put other people first, isn't it? It is. It's hard to be the solution on a bigger scale. So, how to be part of the solution is to meditate by becoming and learn how to become aware of what you are experiencing in each moment authentically. One of the things meditation teaches us is that if I can show up authentically from my experience, there's no right or wrong. There's just the truth of my experience. That is what gives me the awareness to recognize what is going on in my thoughts, what's going on in my emotions, what's going on in my body. And that recognition is what opens up a space where I can look honestly and truthfully at what is going on in my own heart, in my own soul, in my own being. And when I can look at what is going on in my own heart, in my own soul, in my own being, without judgment, without shame, without blaming anybody else, but just aware and accepting of what I'm dealing with. This is the best part of the whole story is as I do this, I can now extend that to other people, and becoming part of the solution becomes part of who you are and the gift you bring, because as you've healed your heart, your soul, as you have balanced the imbalances in your being, when you're interacting with other people, when you're out there in the world, that's what you're carrying in to every situation. There's no judgment for other people's fear. There's no judgment for other people's shame. We are able to show up in the world as, I mean, it almost brings me to tears, as compassionate co-travelers on this path. Excuse me. Where our hearts open to each other, and it's no longer about, would you please move this from here to here, move this from here to here. It's about, oh, I get it. They don't want to move that from here to here because they're ashamed of something and they don't want to be seen by the group, or because they're, whatever the other reason might be, they're angry at so and so and they're just caught up in their own stuff right now. It's like our capacity to show up for people with beyond the surface level of, oh look, they're not getting this done, oh look, they've got high blood pressure and they're not exercising, oh look, they were supposed to get that done by a deadline and they didn't do it. Our capacity to see past those surface things and to enter into a very compassionate understanding of what is going on beneath that, that's how we become part of the solution, because we are aware of things that are going on deep inside other people, and they can sense from us a safety. There won't be any judgment, a support, uh, creativity on our end to figure out maybe other ways of communicating so that we help people feel that they're okay the way they are, that they're doing the best they can. And I think on some level, the greatest gift we can give anyone, anytime, is to see them just as they are, with all of their warts and, you know, whatever, all the stuff that they may see as imperfections, and we see them just as they are, and we accept them unconditionally, loving them. I think that's the greatest gift we can give. And to me, this little teaching of be part of the solution, be part of the solution. That's how it started. And it started with me just trying to help on that surface level. And over time, what became clear was the richness and the depth of that teaching was, oh, I need to first now, before I can be a solution of help, and not, well, let's put it this way, because before I can be part of the solution, I have to stop becoming part of the problem. And the path to becoming not part of the problem is where we grow up, is where we mature, is where we become accountable for ourselves. And in that, the richness and the miracle of it all is in that very process, we become part of the solution. And so it's rich. It's rich. And I don't want to leave you with the thought that you have to be completely healed and balanced before you can become part of the solution. I guarantee you, if you're in a situation with somebody and your discernment says, me talking right now is making things worse, and I'm going to just stop talking, that discernment right there, you are becoming part of the solution. So every step we take in the process of growing up ourselves is contributing to the solution. So so here's what I love about these talks is that they they sound so simple, but they're not. They're so rich. There's so much depth. There's so much wisdom in here that I have gained through the years from Kriyananda, and um, And so I'd like to leave us with this thought, with a little meditation, which is if we want to be part of the solution, we want to stop being part of the problem. Then here's the other one on this side that he said a lot, which was feed what you want more of, starve what you don't want anymore. Now, he probably said it much more concisely and better than I just did, but you get the idea. And some of you out there who are really good with verbs and verbiage and language are going to find like 6 words that say the whole thing. But the idea is feed what you want to see more of, right? Starve what you're trying to get rid of. Okay? So let's feed becoming part of the solution. Let's feed that with just a short meditation to help just kind of send it deep into our cells, into our energy body that we can be part of the solution. So if you're in a position, if you're in a place where you can join me, go ahead and sit comfortably. And for meditation, that generally means sitting upright with our chin gently tucked so that our muscles in our neck can relax. And if we're sitting in a chair, our feet are uncrossed, flat on the floor. If we're laying down, then same thing. We uncross the legs and uncross the hands and sit comfortably. If you're driving or walking, then just listen with a part of your awareness. And let's just take a few moments to come back to the breath, that beautiful breath we discovered in the beginning. And I say discover because part of what we want to do as meditators is every time we come to the breath, we come fresh, as if it's the very first time. And it's like, oh, there you are. Familiar and new all at the same. And let's let our attention drop deep into the belly. And if you can, just feel the breath expanding. And as it expands in the belly, if you're able to be still, you may notice that it expands downward into the sit bones and the perineum, and it expands behind into the sacrum. It's like your whole lower torso is gently expanding and grounding itself right here, right now. And it's so calming. And in this grounding, being completely present with the breath in the body, grounding us in our seat in this moment. And I'm going to ask you to do something that is simply about being aware, practicing awareness. So I'm going to ask you to just rest here, aware of what is happening right now. Aware of the breath moving in your body. And as you're watching the breath, can you hold the thought, the awareness that you are observing? You are not the body that is being breathed. You are observing the breath moving in the body. And that ability to observe is the key to all of this? Can you simply watch and observe what the breath and the body are doing? No judgment, no right or wrong. And so we'll do this for just another 10 or 15 seconds. And now go ahead and release that attention on the breath. Release that attention on the breath and simply notice if anything shifted. And as you're noticing, ask yourself, who or what is it that's noticing? Who or what is it that's noticing the shift? And for a moment, see if you can just simply turn around and become aware of that part of you that is aware. And that's your best friend right there. This awareness. This awareness is that place that is always available, always there, unaffected, untouched by emotions or thoughts. And this is why we meditate. Well, that's not true. It's one of the reasons we meditate is to become aware that there is a part of us that is aware. There is a part of us that is not our thoughts, not our emotions, not our body. And this awareness is that deeper self that has only one purpose, which is to open us up to true compassion, love, joy, bliss. And a remembering of who we truly are. And when we remember, as we remember little by little who we do become part of the solution. We do become part of the solution. So, my friends, whoever was able to enjoy this brief teaching from the surface, just solve the problems, to into the depths of who are we really, and as we become aware and in touch with who we really are, as we balance the imbalances in our soul, we become a vibration of calm, acceptance, and safety that makes a difference. That makes a difference. So I encourage you, my friends, meditate, meditate, meditate. And don't just meditate on the cushion. Take what you're learning in your meditation, take it into your day, into your speech, into every moment of your interactions. Be aware, 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 and then choose how you're going to respond. No longer reactive, choosing your response. And that's about all I got for today. That's about what I've got. So let me leave you with this beautiful prayer from Kriyananda. We call it the Kriya prayer. And I want to thank you so much for joining us. I hope you come back often and look at some of the other videos on the website and check out all the different offerings that the temple has. It's so rich with these teachings. And let's leave you with this. May the infinite Lord of life, love, and laughter bless you at this moment. May each and every cell of your being be healed, healthy, and whole. May your entire mind-body complex be filled to overflowing with vim and vigor and vitality. And may you truly find that which you seek. And may you find it swiftly, surely, and most harmoniously. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Have a blessed day and blessed week, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.